Question from Ken. Was Daniel 9:27 fulfilled by the Pope's declaration to many on May 26, 2021 of the Laudato Si, I hope I didn't butcher that, action platform? He is supposed to present it soon to the UN for their adoption. If so, will this start the clock on Daniel's 70th week?
There's a couple things on this question, and the reason why it even comes up is because the Pope made this declaration. This was actually something that originated not in May. That was when he kind of publicized it, but he had written an encyclical, which are these typical for popes. They write a theological treatise and they throw it out there. And this was particularly one on the climate change idea, and he's jumped on the bandwagon of that. But one of the things that he mentioned in there is just trying to get the world on board to take care of Mother Earth, and he uses a lot of this language. But the reason why it comes up is because he specifically said that in May, I'm going to go to the United Nations and I'm going to present this treatise, this agreement. Let's come up with an agreement that will be fulfilled in 7 years. So he put a time frame on it from 2021 until 2028. And naturally people recognized, hey, could this be the Antichrist, the signing of the covenant? And the short answer is no. It's not that we, again, agree with what the Pope's doing or really in any of that, but the only common denominator is this idea of a 7-year situation. And so just last week, a couple weeks ago, he had gone and he presented it to the United Nations Climate Forum, just, again, giving his overall approach to how the world could take care of the planet. In reality, when we look at what the Pope is doing, the Pope has no authority in the world. I mean, he has authority in the religious world over the Catholic Church. But in reality, throughout the last century, the influence of the popes has gone down in a tremendous amount. So what we do know is in Daniel 9:27, the Antichrist does. He confirms the covenant with the many. The many here is Israel, not the United Nations. We know that from the context of Daniel 9. But he makes that covenant with them for this final 7-year period. And then in the middle of it, it's an agreement with Israel, not the United Nations, because in reality, it would be surprising that the climate change, the climate care of this particular covenant has nothing to do with Israel particular. And even the idea in Daniel 9:27, where it says in the middle of the week, he stops the daily sacrifices from happening. That has really no context in the climate change aspect. He didn't reference it, he didn't make comment on it, nothing to do with Israel specific, nothing to do with sacrifices. And so the only connection is 7 years. So in the short answer, the answer is no. It's not connected with what the Pope has done, and we just, again, time will tell, but I not even for a glimpse do I see it having any connection.
Yeah, very interesting question.
Yeah, it is an interesting. We appreciate that question.